My beloved child, before you continue, before distraction pulls your attention away, before your thoughts convince you this is just another ordinary message, stay here with me for a little longer. Do not scroll away. The next few minutes will explain everything. You are not listening to these words by accident. You were guided here deliberately, carefully, lovingly. Long before this moment arrived, I already knew the exact second your weary heart would need to hear this message. I saw the heaviness you have been carrying. I saw the silent battles inside your mind that nobody else fully understands. I saw the nights when exhaustion wrapped around your spirit so tightly that even sleep could not bring peace. And still, you kept going. My child, many around you see your smile, but they do not see the hidden weight behind it. They do not hear the conversations you have inside your mind late at night. They do not know how many times you questioned your worth, your future, or whether your life was truly moving anywhere at all. But I know, I have always known. I was there during every silent breakdown, every moment you felt abandoned, every time disappointment crushed your expectations, every time you whispered, "God, are you even listening?" Yes, my beloved, I heard every word, even the prayers you could not speak aloud. You thought your pain was destroying you, but what you could not see was this. The pain you thought was destroying you was actually positioning you. There were things I needed to remove before I could bring you into the next season of your life. Some doors had to close because they were leading you toward deeper sorrow. Some people had to leave because they could not follow where I am taking you. Some delays had to happen because your spirit was still being strengthened for what is coming next. You called it rejection, but heaven called it protection. You called it delay, but I called it preparation. And now, my child, the pieces are beginning to move. Quietly, slowly, deeply beneath the surface of your life. Things are already changing. You may not fully see it yet, but your season is shifting. That heaviness you have felt recently, it is not random. The discomfort within your spirit is not meaningless. Something inside you has started awakening. The version of you that survived the pain cannot remain the same forever. I am leading you out of the old season and into a new beginning your heart has prayed for many times without even realizing it. Listen closely now. This next part matters deeply. For a long time, you believed you were falling behind in life. You watched others move forward while you remained stuck in uncertainty. You questioned why certain prayers seemed unanswered. You wondered why opportunities disappeared just when you needed them most. Sometimes you even blamed yourself. Sometimes you secretly believed maybe you were not worthy enough to receive the life you hoped for. But my beloved child, you have misunderstood your waiting season. You thought nothing was happening. Yet, during every painful moment, I was building something within you that could not be created any other way. I was teaching you endurance. I was teaching you discernment. I was teaching you how to survive storms that would have destroyed the weaker version of yourself. You did not notice it at first, but every difficult season changed you. Every betrayal sharpened your wisdom. Every lonely night deepened your compassion. Every disappointment pushed you closer to me, even when you thought you were drifting away. Nothing was wasted. Not your tears, not your heartbreak, not your confusion. Not even the moments when you almost gave up. I used all of it. Even now, you still underestimate how strong you have become. The person you are today carries a resilience that did not exist before those dark seasons. You survived things that once would have broken you completely. And although you still feel tired sometimes, there is a quiet strength inside you that continues standing no matter how many times life tried to knock you down. That strength came from me. My beloved, I need you to understand something tonight. You are not forgotten, you are not overlooked, and you are certainly not abandoned. This moment was arranged intentionally because your spirit is finally ready to hear what comes next. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Hold on to those words carefully, not because they sound comforting, but because they are true. My plans for your life did not disappear because of your mistakes. Your failures did not cancel your purpose. The pain you experienced did not destroy the future I prepared for you. If anything, those painful seasons were quietly guiding you toward it. You still think your story is falling apart, but heaven sees your story coming together. There is a reason your spirit would not let you give up completely. There is a reason something inside you kept searching for hope even after disappointment. There is a reason you are still here listening to this message right now. Because your journey is not over. In fact, my child, it is only beginning. Do not ignore what your spirit is feeling right now. That pull inside your chest, that emotion you cannot fully explain, that sudden sense that these words were meant specifically for you. That is not coincidence. That is my presence reaching toward you. I know how exhausted you have become from pretending to be okay. I know how many times you carried burdens in silence because you believed nobody would understand. You became so used to surviving that you forgot what peace even feels like. But I did not create you merely to survive. I created you to live, to breathe again, to hope again, to feel joy again. And slowly, gently, I am leading you back toward that life. But first, I need you to stop looking at your pain as proof that I abandoned you. Your pain was never proof of abandonment. It was proof that transformation was happening underneath the surface. Seeds break open before they grow. And you, my child, have been in a season of breaking. Not because I wanted to destroy you, but because something greater needed to emerge from within you. The old version of you could not carry the calling ahead. The fearful version, the insecure version, the version that depended on people more than me. That version had to be shaken, and yes, it hurt, but your future required it. Soon you will begin noticing small signs that your season is changing. Certain conversations will happen unexpectedly. Doors you thought were closed will quietly begin opening. New peace will enter your spirit without explanation. Clarity will replace confusion. Strength will rise within you again. And when it happens, you will realize something powerful. I was guiding you the entire time. Even through the silence, even through the heartbreak, even through the waiting, my beloved child, stay with me. Do not let fear pull you backward now. The next part of your journey will reveal why certain battles became so intense recently, and why the enemy fought so hard to keep you trapped in discouragement, because something valuable is inside you. Something heaven placed within you long ago, and soon you will finally begin to see it too. My beloved child, come closer and listen carefully now, because there is something your wounded heart still struggles to believe. You thought your suffering went unseen. You thought your silent tears disappeared into empty nights. You thought nobody noticed how hard you fought just to make it through certain days. But I saw all of it, every single moment. I saw the nights when the room became quiet and your thoughts became loud. I saw you lying awake, replaying painful memories in your mind, wondering why certain wounds still hurt so deeply. I saw the exhaustion behind your smile when you told others you were fine, even though your spirit felt completely drained. I saw the hidden disappointment you carried after prayers seemed unanswered. I saw the trembling anxiety you tried to hide from everyone around you. And my beloved, I saw the tears you wiped away before anyone else could notice them. You believed you had to stay strong for everybody else. You trained yourself to suffer quietly. You learned how to smile while your heart quietly broke inside. Even now, some people around you have no idea how much pain you have actually survived. But I know, I remember every detail. The nights you cried in silence. The mornings you woke up already emotionally tired. The moments when fear wrapped around your chest and made breathing feel heavy. The times you stared into darkness, wondering if your life would ever truly change. I was there, closer than you realized. My child, there were moments when your spirit whispered, "I cannot do this anymore." And even then, I stayed beside you, even when you felt abandoned, even when you doubted my presence, even when disappointment convinced you that heaven had forgotten your name. I never left, not once. You may not have felt me during those painful nights because sorrow can make everything seem distant. Pain has a way of clouding your vision. Fear has a way of convincing you that you are alone. But you were never alone, not for a single second. When your heart shattered quietly behind closed doors, I was holding the broken pieces. When anxiety overwhelmed your thoughts, I was protecting your mind from battles you could not even see. When loneliness consumed you, my presence remained beside you, even though your pain prevented you from sensing it fully. Listen closely now, because this next truth matters deeply. Your tears were being collected, not ignored. Every cry carried meaning. Every sorrow left an imprint upon heaven. Every hidden wound mattered to me far more than you understand. You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. Psalm 56, verse 8. My beloved child, those words are not symbolic to me. They are personal. I truly saw your tears. Not casually, not distantly, but intimately, lovingly, carefully. There were tears you cried because of betrayal. Tears caused by disappointment. Tears born from exhaustion. Tears from feeling misunderstood. Tears from carrying burdens nobody else helped you carry. And there were even tears you could not explain yourself. The kind that appeared when your spirit became too overwhelmed to hold everything inside any longer. I counted them all. Not one was wasted. Not one fell without purpose. Even now, you still underestimate how much those hidden seasons changed you. You believed those lonely nights were empty suffering, but something sacred was happening underneath the surface of your pain. What happened in secret changed your future. While you thought you were breaking apart, I was quietly reshaping your spirit. While you believed nothing was changing, your inner self was becoming stronger, wiser, deeper, and more prepared for the season approaching you now. You could not see it then, but the hidden suffering produced hidden strength. The nights you survived alone built endurance within you. The disappointments taught you discernment. The heartbreak softened your heart toward others who suffer, and the silence pushed you closer to me in ways comfort never could. There are things I can only build inside a soul during hidden seasons. That is why some of your greatest transformations happened when nobody else was watching. Not on the mountaintop, but in the quiet, in the loneliness, in the moments where you and I were the only ones who knew how much pain you carried. My beloved, I know there were nights when fear whispered terrible lies into your mind. Fear told you nothing would ever change. Fear told you your best days were behind you. Fear told you you were too damaged, too exhausted, too forgotten to ever recover fully. But those voices never spoke truth over your life. Because even while you were crying, I was still writing your future. Even while you were doubting yourself, I was still preparing restoration. Even while your heart was wounded, I was still protecting your destiny. Do not misunderstand your survival. You made it through certain seasons because I carried you when your strength disappeared. There were moments you should have collapsed emotionally. Moments where the pressure became far greater than what you thought you could handle. Yet somehow you kept moving forward. That was not accidental. That was my hand sustaining you. My beloved child, I need you to stop condemning yourself for feeling weak sometimes. Stop believing your tears were signs of failure. Stop thinking your emotional exhaustion disappointed me. Your tears never pushed me away. They drew me closer. Because broken hearts speak honestly before me. Pain strips away pretending. In those lonely nights when you cried openly, your spirit became more real than it had ever been before. And I was listening carefully to every word. Even now, there are wounds inside you that still ache quietly. Some disappointments have not fully healed. Certain memories still return unexpectedly. Some betrayals still confuse your heart. I know, and I am still healing places inside you that nobody else can reach. But there is something you still do not know. Those painful nights created a version of you capable of carrying the blessing that is coming next. If your spirit had not been stretched through suffering, you would not be prepared for where I am taking you now. The future I planned for you requires deeper strength, deeper wisdom, deeper trust. And although the process wounded you at times, it also prepared you. You are not the same person you were before those tears. Something inside you matured through the pain. Something awakened. You now notice things you once ignored. You discern people differently. You understand loneliness differently. You carry compassion that did not exist before. You became softer in some ways, stronger in others. That transformation matters. Nothing was meaningless, not the waiting, not the heartbreak, not the silence, not the tears. I used every hidden moment to shape your future. And soon, my child, very soon, you will begin to understand why heaven allowed certain things to happen the way they did. The answers are coming closer now. The clarity you prayed for is approaching, and the same God who saw every hidden tear is about to reveal why your story could never end in destruction. My beloved child, there is a truth you have struggled to understand for a very long time. You thought heaven was delaying your life. You thought I was withholding good things from you. You watched doors close, opportunities disappear, relationships collapse, and prayers remain unanswered. And slowly your heart began asking dangerous questions. Why is this happening to me? Why does everyone else seem to move forward while I remain stuck? Did God forget me? But listen carefully now, because the answer will change the way you see your entire journey. What felt like rejection was often my protection. What felt like delay was often my mercy. And what looked like silence was actually me guarding your future from things that would have destroyed you before you were ready. My child, there are things you cried for that would have wounded you deeply if I had released them too soon. There were people you begged to keep in your life who secretly carried the power to break your peace. There were opportunities you thought you needed that would have drained your spirit completely. You only saw the desire, but I saw the outcome. You only saw the open door, but I saw the hidden danger behind it. And because I love you too deeply to allow certain things to destroy you, I stepped in quietly, even when you misunderstood my actions. There were moments you thought I ignored your prayers, when in reality I was saving you from future pain you could not yet see. If I had given it to you earlier, it would have broken you. You were asking for things your spirit was not yet strong enough to carry. You wanted answers before your wisdom matured. You wanted blessings before your character was prepared. You wanted restoration while parts of your heart were still too wounded to protect what I planned to place into your hands. So I slowed things down, not to punish you, but to preserve you. My beloved, you have judged your life based only on what you could see in the moment. But heaven does not see your story in fragments. I see the entire path ahead of you. I know which relationships would poison your peace. I know which environments would slowly destroy your confidence. I know which shortcuts would pull you away from your calling. And because I know these things, I sometimes say no when you desperately want yes. Not because I stopped loving you, but because I love you enough to protect you from what your emotions cannot yet discern. There are tears you cried over closed doors that you will one day thank me for closing. There are people you chased who would have delayed your destiny. There are seasons of waiting that protected your spirit from collapsing under pressure you were not ready to carry. You could not understand it then, but slowly you are beginning to see it now. The betrayal revealed hidden truths. The delay exposed unhealthy attachments. The silence taught you how to depend on me instead of temporary comforts. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. And even the painful waiting carried purpose. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Not your timing, my beloved, mine, because I see what you cannot. I know when your heart is truly prepared. I know when your spirit has grown strong enough to sustain the blessing instead of being destroyed by it. There were versions of you in the past that would have mishandled what is coming next. The insecure version of you would have depended too heavily on people. The fearful version of you would have sabotaged opportunities because of self-doubt. The emotionally wounded version of you would have accepted less than what I intended for your life. So I delayed certain things until healing began, until wisdom deepened, until discernment matured, until your soul became stronger through the very waiting you hated. And now, when you look back honestly, you can already see moments where my protection was hidden inside disappointment. You can see how some people leaving your life actually saved your peace. You can see how certain failures redirected your path toward something better. You can see how unanswered prayers protected you from outcomes that would have exhausted your spirit. At the time, it felt cruel. Now you are beginning to realize it was mercy. My child, there were nights you accused yourself unnecessarily. You thought maybe you failed because certain things did not happen when you expected. But not every delay is punishment. Sometimes delay is divine preparation. Sometimes waiting is evidence that heaven is carefully arranging details your human eyes cannot yet understand. Do not measure my faithfulness by temporary timing. Measure it by the fact that I never abandoned you through any season. I remained beside you through every disappointment. I carried you through every delay. And even when your faith became weak, my plans for you remained firm. Listen closely now. This next part matters deeply. The waiting season changed you more than you realize. It slowed you down long enough to see who truly belonged in your life. It exposed the difference between temporary comfort and real peace. It taught you how fragile human approval truly is. It forced you to stop depending entirely on external validation and start hearing my voice more clearly. Without the waiting, you would not have gained that wisdom. Without the silence, your discernment would still be immature. Without the heartbreak, you would still be chasing things that could never truly heal your spirit. You hated the process, but the process protected you. Comment Amen if you believe God protected you even when you did not understand. My beloved child, there are still some things you do not fully know yet. Some answers are only now beginning to reveal themselves. Some hidden truths about your past disappointments will become clearer very soon. And when clarity finally comes, you will realize heaven was never working against you. Heaven was carefully rearranging your life, quietly, patiently, lovingly. Even now, I am still protecting you from things your eyes cannot see. There are conversations happening behind closed doors that I am shielding you from. There are traps you never noticed because my hand redirected your steps before danger reached you. There are spiritual battles you survived without even realizing they existed. You think you lost certain things, but some losses were rescues. You think some prayers were ignored, but some prayers were answered through removal instead of addition. And soon, my child, another truth is about to unfold before your eyes, because the next part will reveal why certain people disappeared from your life and why their absence became necessary for your future healing. My beloved child, I know there is still a wound inside you that has not fully healed, a quiet ache that returns when you remember certain names, certain faces, certain promises that were broken. You still carry confusion about why some people disappeared from your life the way they did. You still replay conversations in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently. Part of you still struggles to understand how people who once claimed they loved you could suddenly become distant, cold, or absent. And because of that pain, you started believing something dangerous. You started believing their leaving meant you were not enough. But my child, their departure was never proof of your lack of worth. It was proof that your season was changing. You were never abandoned. You were being redirected. There are people who were assigned only to one chapter of your journey. They were never meant to walk beside you forever. Some connections were temporary, even though your heart wanted permanence. Some relationships existed only to teach lessons your spirit needed before entering the next stage of your life. But because your heart loved deeply, you mistook temporary people for permanent destiny. And when they left, it shattered something inside you. I know how deeply it hurt. I saw the nights when you questioned your value after being rejected. I saw you blaming yourself for things you could not control. I saw how betrayal damaged your confidence and made you afraid to trust again. You wondered why people changed. You wondered why loyalty disappeared. You wondered why those you prayed for sometimes became the very source of your pain. But listen carefully now, my beloved. Not everyone who leaves your life is a loss. Some departures are divine separation. Some endings are acts of protection. Some people must be removed because they cannot follow you into the future I prepared for you. Their presence would have delayed your healing. Their influence would have distracted your calling. Their attachment would have kept you emotionally tied to a version of yourself I am asking you to outgrow. The pain came because you could only see the ending, but heaven could already see the future beyond it. Their exit created space for your calling. Space for your healing, space for your peace, space for your transformation. You thought losing them meant your life was falling apart. But slowly, you are beginning to realize certain people were connected more to your wounds than to your destiny. Some relationships survived only because you were emotionally afraid of being alone. Some people remained close only because you kept shrinking yourself to keep them comfortable. But my beloved child, I did not create you to spend your life begging for love, chasing validation, or abandoning your true self to maintain relationships that drained your spirit. I created you for something deeper, healthier, holier, and sometimes before I can bring the right people into your life, I must first remove those who continuously disturb your peace. I know you still miss some of them. I know certain memories still make your heart ache. And I know part of you still wishes things could have ended differently. But if you could fully see what I protected you from, your tears would begin turning into gratitude. Because some people were slowly breaking your confidence while pretending to care for you. Some were feeding your insecurity. Some were attached to your pain but uncomfortable with your growth. Some loved the wounded version of you because the healed version would no longer depend on them. And my beloved, you cannot step fully into your purpose while remaining chained to environments that constantly pull your spirit backward. So I intervened, quietly, painfully, lovingly, not to destroy your heart, but to save your future. All things work together for good to those who love God. Romans 8:28. Even this heartbreak, my child, even this disappointment, even this separation, I know it did not feel good while it was happening. In fact, some endings nearly broke you emotionally. There were moments you genuinely thought you would never recover from certain betrayals. The silence after people left felt unbearable. The loneliness that followed made you question everything. But what you called abandonment was often divine repositioning, because the path ahead required a different environment. Different influences, different voices around your spirit. The version of you I am raising up now cannot continue surviving in spaces that constantly diminish your worth. You have spent too much time trying to earn love from emotionally unavailable people. Too much time over-explaining your heart to those determined to misunderstand you. Too much time carrying relationships alone while pretending the imbalance did not hurt you. And slowly, exhaustion began consuming your spirit. That is why some separations became necessary. Not because you failed, not because you were unlovable, but because heaven saw your value even when others did not. Listen closely now, this next truth matters deeply. Some people left because they were connected to your old season, not your future season. Their assignment in your life expired when your transformation began. And the more you changed internally, the more uncomfortable certain people became around you. Your healing exposed their unhealthy patterns. Your growth challenged their control. Your awakening threatened the version of you they had grown used to. So distance appeared, conflict surfaced, misunderstanding increased, and eventually separation happened. You thought the separation meant destruction, but often separation is where healing finally begins. My beloved child, you cannot fully receive new blessings while clinging desperately to what I already removed. You cannot move forward while continuously staring backward at closed doors. Some endings hurt because you loved sincerely, but sincere love does not always mean permanent assignment. There are people who walk with you for a season, and there are people assigned to walk with you into destiny. Not everyone is the same, and now, slowly, I am teaching your spirit the difference. I know forgiveness still feels difficult for you sometimes. Part of your heart still carries disappointment. Certain wounds still feel unfair. But I do not want bitterness to poison the future I am preparing for you. Release the anger, release the need for revenge. Release the exhausting desire to fully understand why people behaved the way they did. Some answers will never bring peace, but my presence will. Trust me with the pieces you still do not understand. Because one day you will look back and realize that some of the most painful endings in your life became the very turning points that led you toward healing purpose, clarity, and deeper peace. You survived their leaving, and now you are becoming stronger because of it. But there is something even deeper happening beneath the surface of your life right now. Because the next part will reveal why the greatest battle was never only around you, it was happening inside your own mind. My beloved child, there is a battle you have been fighting that nobody else fully sees. A quiet war, a hidden pressure, a constant tension inside your own mind. And for a long time, you believed every fearful thought was simply part of who you are. You believed the anxiety was your identity. You believed the overthinking was normal. You believed the heaviness inside your spirit meant something was wrong with you. But listen carefully now, because what I am about to reveal will change the way you see yourself forever. Not every voice in your head belongs to you. There are thoughts that entered your mind without coming from your true spirit. There are fears that attach themselves to your heart through pain, disappointment, betrayal, and exhaustion. There are lies that repeated themselves so often you eventually accepted them as truth. But they were never my voice. My child, I need you to understand something deeply. I do not speak to you through constant fear. I do not condemn you with hopelessness. I do not whisper worthlessness into your spirit. I do not fill your mind with endless anxiety, confusion, and torment. That voice telling you that you are not enough. That voice convincing you nothing will ever change. That voice replaying your failures over and over again. That voice making you feel unloved, forgotten, unwanted, or permanently broken. That is not how I speak to my children. Yet for so long you listened to those voices until they became louder than my truth. And slowly, without realizing it, your peace began disappearing. Something hidden has been targeting your peace. The enemy understood something about you before you fully understood it yourself. He recognized the potential within you. He recognized the calling over your life. He recognized the strength your spirit would eventually carry. And because of that, the attack focused heavily on your mind. Because if your thoughts could be controlled, your destiny could be delayed. If your confidence could be weakened, your purpose could remain buried. If fear could dominate your thinking, you would remain trapped in survival, instead of stepping into the future prepared for you. So the warfare intensified quietly, not always around you, but within you. Fear, overthinking, self-doubt, mental exhaustion, constant worry, emotional heaviness, the endless replaying of painful memories, the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the fear that nobody truly loves you, the fear that your life will never improve. My beloved child, these attacks did not begin yesterday. Some started years ago through wounds you never fully healed from. Certain painful experiences opened doors to deep insecurity. Betrayal planted seeds of distrust. Rejection created fear of abandonment. Disappointment created anxiety about the future. And over time, those wounds slowly shaped the way you thought about yourself. You became harsh toward your own heart. You questioned your value constantly. You expected disappointment before good things even arrived. You prepared yourself for rejection before people had the chance to love you properly. You became exhausted from fighting battles inside your mind every single day. And the hardest part was this: most people around you never realized how intense the battle truly became. They saw your outer appearance, but they did not see the storm inside your thoughts. They did not see the silent panic attacks, the emotional exhaustion, the nights where your own mind became too loud to escape, the moments you smiled publicly while privately feeling emotionally shattered. But I saw it all, and I never stopped fighting for you. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. Read that carefully, my beloved. Fear was never the inheritance I intended for you. Torment was never your identity. Confusion was never meant to rule your thoughts. You were created for peace, for clarity, for strength, for spiritual authority. But the enemy understood that if your identity could be distorted, your future could remain hidden from you. So he attacked your thoughts repeatedly. He wanted you to believe your weakness was permanent. He wanted you to see yourself through the lens of your wounds instead of through my love. He wanted your anxiety to become so overwhelming that you stopped believing healing was possible. But now the attack is losing power. Do you know why? Because you are beginning to recognize the difference between fear and truth. You are beginning to notice which thoughts produce peace and which thoughts produce torment. My voice brings clarity, fear brings confusion. My presence brings peace, fear brings panic. My truth strengthens your spirit. Fear drains your strength completely. The more you stay close to me, the more clearly you will begin recognizing these differences. Listen closely now. This next part matters deeply. Some of the thoughts you accepted about yourself were never true to begin with. You are not weak because you cried. You are not broken because you struggled. You are not forgotten because you experienced delay. You are not unworthy because certain people rejected you. And you are not failing simply because healing takes time. My beloved child, healing the mind is often a slow and sacred process. I know you sometimes become frustrated with yourself because certain fears still return unexpectedly. Some wounds still trigger anxiety. Some painful memories still echo loudly inside your thoughts. But do not confuse ongoing healing with permanent defeat. You are recovering from battles that deeply affected your spirit, and recovery takes gentleness, patience, grace. That is why I keep calling you closer to me, not to condemn you for struggling, but to restore the parts of your heart fear tried to steal. Every moment you choose hope instead of despair, the darkness loses power. Every time you keep going, despite emotional exhaustion, fear weakens further. Every prayer whispered through tears shakes chains you cannot even see. You think nothing is happening during those quiet moments. But heaven sees warfare breaking in your favor. The enemy attacked your mind because he feared who you are becoming. He recognized that once your thinking changes, your life will begin changing too. Once you stop agreeing with fear, your confidence will return. Once you stop identifying with your wounds, your calling will awaken. Once you stop believing the lies spoken over your life, your spirit will finally breathe freely again. And that transformation has already begun. Slowly, quietly, deep within your spirit. You may still feel tired sometimes. You may still battle anxious thoughts occasionally. But something inside you is waking up now, a deeper discernment, a deeper awareness, a deeper strength. You are no longer blindly believing every fearful thought that enters your mind. Now you are questioning the darkness instead of automatically agreeing with it. That matters more than you realize, because the greatest breakthrough often begins the moment you stop calling the lies truth. My beloved child, The war against your mind will not define your future. Your healing will. And soon, you will understand why all these battles were also preparing you for another assignment, far greater than your own survival. Because the next part will reveal how I am using your pain to break generational cycles that existed long before you were born. My beloved child, there is something about your life you have not fully understood yet. Your struggle was never only about you. The battles you faced did not begin entirely with your own choices. Some burdens were already moving through your family long before you were born. Certain patterns repeated themselves quietly across generations. Fear passed from one wounded heart to another. Silence became inherited. Brokenness traveled through relationships. Pain taught pain. Wounded people unknowingly wounded others. And without realizing it, you entered a world already carrying the weight of battles you did not create. You saw addiction destroy peace. You saw anger fracture love. You saw fear controlling decisions. You saw emotional distance, manipulation, abandonment, poverty thinking, constant anxiety, cycles of shame, cycles of self-destruction, cycles of people surviving but never truly healing. And for many years, my child, you thought those patterns would continue forever. Sometimes you even feared you would become exactly what hurt you. But listen carefully now, because this truth is sacred. You were not born to continue the cycle. You were born to break it. The reason your journey has felt heavier than others at times is because your spirit carries an assignment larger than your own comfort. You are not simply surviving for yourself. Heaven has been preparing you to become the interruption to generations of hidden pain. That is why your battles became so intense. That is why the warfare against your mind increased. That is why discouragement attacked your identity so strongly. Because once one person in a family begins healing deeply, the entire direction of future generations can change. And the enemy feared what would happen if you finally discovered who you truly are. My beloved child, there were moments you felt different from those around you. You noticed things others ignored. You questioned unhealthy patterns others accepted. Your spirit longed for peace even when chaos became normal around you. That was not weakness, that was awakening. I placed something inside you that refused to fully settle inside brokenness. Even when you were hurting, even when you felt lost, even when fear clouded your thinking, something deep inside you kept searching for healing, truth, peace, and meaning. That was my hand upon your life. You were chosen to see beyond the pain, chosen to desire something healthier, chosen to become the beginning of a new story. But my child, carrying this assignment has not been easy, because cycle breakers often feel alone before they feel understood. You became the one who questioned unhealthy behavior while others stayed silent. You became the one who carried emotional burdens nobody talked about openly. You became the one trying to heal wounds people before you simply ignored or buried. And sometimes that journey exhausted your spirit. Sometimes you wondered why you felt so emotionally different from others around you. Sometimes you questioned why certain environments drained you so deeply. Sometimes you felt guilty for wanting distance from patterns that continuously harmed your peace. But listen carefully now. Wanting healing does not make you disloyal. Wanting peace does not make you selfish. Wanting emotional health does not make you weak. It means your spirit recognizes it was created for more than survival. You were born to end what hurt your family, not through hatred, not through pride, but through healing, through wisdom, through forgiveness, through transformation. My beloved child, do not underestimate the importance of your healing journey. The inner work happening inside your spirit right now reaches far beyond your own life. Every unhealthy pattern you refuse to continue changes the future for those connected to you. Every moment you choose peace over chaos, truth over denial, healing over bitterness, you weaken cycles that existed long before your arrival. And heaven sees every step to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, Isaiah 61:3. Do you understand what that means, my beloved? Ashes represent destruction, pain, loss, generational sorrow. But I specialize in transforming ashes into beauty. I restore what generations believed was permanently broken. I heal what families stopped talking about. I bring light into places where silence ruled for years, and that restoration is beginning through you. Not because you are perfect, but because you were willing to keep seeking me even through your pain. My child, many before you survived through emotional numbness because healing felt impossible to them. But I am awakening something different inside you. You are becoming more aware of what damages your peace, more aware of what feeds fear, more aware of relationships and environments that pull your spirit away from life. This awareness matters deeply because transformation begins with recognition, and now your eyes are opening. Slowly, you are beginning to understand that not every inherited pattern deserves to continue into your future. The fear stops with you. The constant self-hatred stops with you. The emotional silence stops with you. The belief that love must always hurt stops with you. The cycle of pretending everything is fine while suffering internally stops with you. My beloved child, there will still be moments when old patterns try to pull you backward. Familiar pain often feels comfortable because it has existed for so long. Healing can feel unfamiliar at first. Peace can even feel strange after years of emotional survival. But do not return to what I am healing you from. The old cycles may call your name, but your future is calling louder. Listen closely now. This next truth matters deeply. The reason your life has carried such intense spiritual pressure is because your breakthrough affects more than only yourself. Once healing fully takes root inside you, others around you will begin changing too. Your courage will inspire hidden healing in others. Your honesty will give people permission to confront their own pain. Your peace will become evidence that transformation is possible. That is why heaven kept protecting you even when you felt weak. Your story carries purpose. Your survival carries purpose. Even your tears carried purpose. Nothing about your journey has been meaningless. And although you still have healing ahead of you, do not overlook how far I have already brought you. The version of you listening right now is already stronger, wiser, and more spiritually awake than the version who first entered those dark seasons. You survived battles that were meant to silence your future, but you are still here, still breathing, still searching for truth, still listening for my voice. That matters more than you realize. Because the very fact that you are still seeking healing proves the darkness never fully conquered your spirit. And now, my beloved child, another season is beginning quietly inside you. A season where the loneliness, silence, and isolation that once confused you will finally start making sense. Because the next part will reveal why your silent season was never punishment. It was training. My beloved child, I know the silence confused you. There were seasons where everything became quiet at once. Certain friendships faded, opportunities slowed down, conversations became fewer. Even your own spirit sometimes felt isolated in ways you could not explain. You wondered why life suddenly felt so empty. You wondered why the excitement disappeared. You wondered why I seemed quieter than before. And slowly, the loneliness began making you question yourself. But listen carefully now. Because what felt like abandonment was actually preparation. The silence was training, not punishment. My beloved, there are things I can only teach a soul in hidden seasons. There are strengths that can only develop in quiet places where distractions disappear. The world taught you to constantly seek noise, movement, validation, and attention. But I needed to bring you into stillness so your spirit could finally hear me clearly again. That is why certain distractions had to be removed. That is why some relationships faded away. That is why certain doors closed unexpectedly. Because your spirit was becoming too surrounded by noise to recognize my voice. And the deeper your calling became, the more necessary the silence became also. I know those seasons felt uncomfortable, sometimes deeply painful. There were nights you felt emotionally isolated even while surrounded by people. There were moments you questioned why nobody seemed to fully understand what was happening inside you. You missed the old version of life, even though you knew it was no longer healthy for your spirit. You felt caught between who you used to be and who you were becoming, and that in-between place exhausted you. But my beloved child, transformation often happens in hidden places before it becomes visible publicly. Seeds grow underground before anyone sees the fruit, and during your silent season, I was growing something inside you that could not develop through comfort alone. Spiritual endurance, discernment, inner strength, deeper dependence on me. You were learning how to survive without constant external reassurance. You were learning how to hear my whisper above the noise of fear. You were learning how to stand emotionally even when nobody around you fully understood your journey. That training mattered deeply, because the future ahead of you requires a stronger spirit than the past version of yourself carried. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Stillness frightened you at first, because silence often exposes what distractions were covering up. When the noise faded, unresolved wounds surfaced. Hidden fears became louder. Loneliness became harder to ignore. You suddenly became aware of emotional exhaustion you had buried beneath constant busyness. And for a while, it felt overwhelming. But my child, the silence was revealing what needed healing. Not to shame you, but to restore you. Some of the deepest healing in your life began when you finally stopped running from your own heart. In the stillness, I began uncovering fears you carried for years. I exposed unhealthy attachments. I revealed where your identity depended too heavily on people's approval. I showed you how much anxiety had quietly controlled your decisions. And although the process felt painful, it was necessary, because I do not heal what remains hidden. Listen closely now. This next part matters deeply. Soon you will understand why God removed distractions. Certain people were distracting your spirit from growth. Certain environments kept pulling you backward emotionally. Certain habits numbed your pain temporarily while quietly delaying your healing. And because I love you too much to leave you trapped there forever, I began separating you from the noise. Not to isolate you from love, but to reconnect you with truth. My beloved child, there were moments during the silent season when you thought you were losing everything. But often, you were only losing what could no longer go where I am taking you. The old distractions could not enter your next season. The old coping mechanisms could not sustain your future calling. The old emotional dependencies could not survive where your spirit is headed now. So the silence became necessary, because silence forces transformation. And although you resisted it at times, your spirit slowly began changing inside those quiet places. You became more reflective, more discerning, more emotionally aware. You started recognizing which voices drained your peace. You began valuing authenticity more than shallow connection. You stopped craving constant validation the way you once did. And without fully realizing it, your inner world became stronger. The world may have seen isolation, but heaven saw training. Every lonely prayer strengthened your spirit. Every silent night built endurance. Every hidden battle increased your discernment. Even your tears during that season carried purpose. Nothing about your isolation was meaningless. I know you sometimes became frustrated because progress felt invisible. You expected dramatic changes, but instead, transformation happened slowly, quietly, deeply beneath the surface. That is often how I work, my beloved. The strongest foundations are built where nobody sees them, and your foundation was being rebuilt carefully, because I am preparing you for stability, not temporary excitement. Temporary emotions fade quickly, but spiritual endurance remains. That is why your silent season lasted longer than you expected. I was not only changing your circumstances, I was reshaping your inner life, teaching you how to remain steady, teaching you how to hear my voice clearly, teaching you how to find peace that does not depend on external situations. And now, little by little, you are beginning to notice the difference. Things that once controlled your emotions no longer hold the same power. Certain distractions no longer satisfy your spirit. Some relationships no longer feel aligned with your growth. You are changing internally, even if others cannot fully see it yet. My beloved child, do not despise the season that strengthened you. One day you will look back and realize the quiet seasons protected you from becoming dependent on temporary things. The isolation forced you to discover who you truly were beneath the expectations, noise, and emotional pressure surrounding you. You are becoming spiritually stronger than you realize. Not louder, not harder, but deeper, calmer, wiser, more rooted in truth. And although the silence once felt unbearable, it is now producing peace inside you that chaos could never create. If this message is speaking to your spirit, type, "I trust you, God," because your spirit is beginning to recognize something important now. The silence was never evidence that I left you. It was evidence that I was working deeply within you. You were hidden for a reason, protected for a reason, separated for a reason. And soon, my beloved, you will begin seeing why heaven allowed you to walk through such intense hidden battles. Because the next part will reveal something shocking. You survived dangers you never even knew existed, because I was fighting battles for you behind the scenes the entire time. My beloved child, there are things I protected you from that you still do not fully understand. There were dangers surrounding your life that your human eyes never recognized. Battles were unfolding behind the scenes, while you continued moving through ordinary days, unaware of how close certain situations came to harming you. You thought some moments were coincidence. You thought certain outcomes were random. You thought you simply got lucky. But heaven intervened. Again and again, you survived things you never even knew were coming. There were conversations happening behind closed doors that could have destroyed your peace if I had allowed them to unfold differently. There were people whose intentions toward you were not as pure as they appeared. There were traps hidden beneath opportunities you desperately wanted. There were emotional collapses, spiritual attacks, and moments of danger that came far closer to you than you realize. But I stood between you and destruction. Even during the seasons when you doubted my presence, I was still guarding your path. My beloved, you often measure protection only by what hurts you. But true protection is often invisible because it prevents pain before it ever reaches you. You only saw the closed door. I saw the disaster behind it. You only saw the delayed opportunity. I saw the exhaustion it would have created. You only saw the relationship ending. I saw the damage it would eventually bring to your spirit. And because my love for you runs deeper than your understanding, I intervened quietly. Even when you became angry with me, even when you questioned my timing, even when disappointment made you feel forgotten, I never stopped protecting you. Listen closely now, because this next truth matters deeply. You were closer to destruction than you realize. There were moments your emotional exhaustion became so intense that the enemy hoped you would completely surrender to hopelessness. There were nights where fear tried to consume your mind so heavily that you almost believed the lies being whispered against your future. The enemy wanted your spirit to collapse under pressure. He wanted your confidence destroyed. He wanted your purpose buried beneath discouragement. And there were also physical dangers you never recognized. Delays that frustrated you, protected you from unseen harm. Certain instincts I placed inside you redirected your path without you understanding why. There were moments where my hand moved circumstances quietly to keep you alive, protected, and moving toward your assignment. You thought you were simply changing plans, but heaven was preserving your future. My beloved child, there are times when spiritual warfare becomes intense, precisely because your life carries purpose. The enemy does not fight empty destinies so aggressively. The pressure increased around you because something valuable exists inside your spirit. Your calling threatened darkness long before you understood it yourself. That is why the battles felt unusually heavy at times. That is why fear targeted your mind so relentlessly. That is why discouragement tried to convince you that your life carried no meaning. But the very intensity of the attack revealed the importance of your assignment. And still, through every hidden battle, I remained beside you. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Psalm 91:11. My beloved, you are more protected than you realize. Not because life will never contain hardship, but because I remain sovereign even in the middle of warfare. There were angels assigned to your protection during seasons you felt completely alone. There were moments my presence surrounded you while your mind was too exhausted to sense it clearly. There were dangers diverted quietly without your awareness. And one day, when heaven reveals the full story of your life, you will finally understand how many times I rescued you without announcing it publicly. You will understand why certain plans failed unexpectedly, why certain delays happened, why some people disappeared suddenly, why your spirit felt warnings you could not explain logically. I was guiding you away from destruction long before your eyes could recognize it. My child, I know there were moments where you felt cursed because nothing seemed to go the way you expected. But some frustrations were actually forms of protection. Some unanswered prayers became the very reason you survived emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. You judged the moment by temporary disappointment, but heaven judged it by eternal preservation. Listen carefully now. This next part matters deeply. The enemy hoped isolation would weaken you permanently, but isolation strengthened your discernment. The enemy hoped fear would silence your purpose, but fear pushed you closer to my voice. The enemy hoped heartbreak would harden your spirit completely, but instead it deepened your compassion. Every attack was meant to destroy you, but I transformed those battles into preparation. That is why you are still here, still standing, still breathing, still searching for truth even after everything you endured. Do not underestimate the miracle of your survival, my beloved child. There were seasons where your emotional wounds became so deep that many people would have completely lost themselves. Yet somehow, even through tears, confusion, and exhaustion, your spirit continued reaching toward me. That was not accidental. That was my hand sustaining you. Even now, while you listen to these words, there are battles I am fighting for you that you cannot fully see yet. I am protecting your peace from influences designed to drain you. I am redirecting paths that would lead you into deeper confusion. I am exposing hidden motives around you little by little. I am preserving opportunities aligned with your future while removing distractions meant to delay your healing. You may not always understand the process immediately, but trust this. I see what you cannot see, and because I see the full picture, I know exactly how to guard your destiny. My beloved child, stop believing the lie that you survived by your own strength alone. Yes, you kept going. Yes, you fought hard. Yes, your endurance mattered. But behind your strength was my protection, carrying you through seasons where your own power would not have been enough. I was the reason your spirit did not completely collapse. I was the reason hope kept flickering even during darkness. I was the reason certain attacks failed to destroy your future. And now the warfare around your life is beginning to shift. The attacks are losing access to the fear they once used against you. Because your discernment is growing stronger, your spirit is waking up. Your confidence in my protection is deepening. And soon, my beloved, you will begin seeing yourself differently than ever before. Not through the eyes of fear, not through the wounds of your past, but through the identity I always intended for you to carry. Because the next part will reveal something powerful. The version of you that suffered is not the final version of you. Part 9. My beloved child. For so long, you have seen yourself through the eyes of your pain. You measured your worth by what hurt you. You identified yourself through rejection, disappointment, fear, anxiety, and survival. Without even realizing it, your wounds slowly became the mirror through which you viewed your entire life. You stopped seeing yourself as chosen. You started seeing yourself as damaged. You stopped seeing possibility. You started expecting disappointment. You stopped recognizing the strength I placed within you because suffering became louder than your true identity. But listen carefully now, because something sacred is beginning to happen inside your spirit. Something inside you is beginning to wake up. The version of you that suffered is not the final version of you. My beloved, pain may have shaped parts of your story, but pain does not define your destiny. The enemy wanted your wounds to become your permanent identity. He wanted you to spend your entire life believing you were nothing more than your trauma, your failures, your heartbreak, or your fears. But you are far more than what happened to you. Far more. You are not merely the person who was rejected. You are not merely the person who was abandoned. You are not merely the anxious version of yourself that struggled through dark nights. You are not merely the exhausted soul trying to survive another difficult season. Those moments were chapters. They were never your final identity. My child, there is a reason your spirit has recently felt restless. A reason certain old patterns no longer satisfy you. A reason your heart has begun longing for something deeper than survival. Your true identity is awakening. And the more it awakens, the harder it becomes to continue living beneath the weight of old lies. For years, fear convinced you to stay small. Pain convinced you to stay hidden. Disappointment convinced you to lower your expectations. But deep inside your spirit, something stronger has been quietly growing through every battle you survived. Strength, wisdom, discernment, resilience, spiritual authority. You do not fully recognize it yet, but the person emerging from these seasons is far stronger than the one who first entered them. The old version of you depended heavily on external validation. The awakened version is learning to stand in truth. The old version of you feared rejection constantly. The awakened version is beginning to understand that your value was never dependent upon human approval. The old version of you lived in survival mode. The awakened version is starting to believe peace is truly possible. And although the transformation feels unfamiliar sometimes, it is real. My beloved child, I know there are still moments when insecurity tries to return. There are still days where old fears whisper loudly. Certain wounds still ache unexpectedly. Some parts of your healing remain unfinished. But healing does not erase your identity. It reveals it. The stronger your spirit becomes, the more clearly you will begin seeing yourself the way I have always seen you. Not broken, not forgotten, not weak, but chosen. Created with purpose, designed intentionally, carrying gifts and strength you still underestimate. For we are God's masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus to do good works. Ephesians 2:10. Read that again carefully, my beloved. Masterpiece. Not mistake, not accident, not failure. Masterpiece. Even after everything you endured, even after the nights you doubted yourself, even after the seasons where fear clouded your vision, my view of you never changed. Others may have misunderstood you. Others may have underestimated your heart. Others may have spoken words that wounded your confidence deeply. But none of those voices carried authority over your true identity. Only my voice does. And I never called you worthless. I never called you hopeless. I never called you forgotten. I called you mine. Listen closely now. This next truth matters deeply. The enemy attacked your identity because identity determines direction. When a person forgets who they are, they begin settling for less than what was prepared for them. They tolerate unhealthy relationships. They remain trapped in fear. They shrink themselves to fit environments that suffocate their spirit. And that is exactly what darkness hoped would happen to you. The enemy wanted your pain to convince you that smallness was safety. But your spirit was never created to remain hidden forever. You were created to rise beyond the wounds, to heal beyond the fear, to become living proof that restoration is possible. My beloved child, the awakening happening inside you right now will begin changing everything slowly. You will start noticing things differently. The lies that once controlled your thinking will lose power. You will begin recognizing unhealthy patterns faster. You will stop apologizing for protecting your peace. You will become more selective about what voices you allow into your spirit. And some people around you may not understand the change, because awakening changes how you carry yourself, changes what you tolerate. It changes how deeply you value your inner peace. The healed version of you will no longer chase places where your spirit feels constantly wounded. The awakened version of you will no longer beg for crumbs of love while ignoring your own worth. The stronger version of you will no longer confuse chaos with connection. That transformation is already beginning quietly inside you. You may not fully see it yet, but heaven sees it clearly. The way you think is changing. The way you discern people is changing. The way you respond to fear is changing. Even your prayers are changing, because your spirit is awakening to deeper truth. My beloved, there is still more healing ahead, but do not overlook how far I have already brought you. The fact that you are still searching for truth after everything you endured proves that darkness failed to destroy the light inside you. That light remained alive through every storm, and now it is growing stronger. You survived seasons that should have buried your confidence permanently. Yet somehow your spirit kept reaching upward. Even through exhaustion, disappointment, and fear, something inside you refused to completely surrender. That was not weakness, that was destiny fighting to awaken. And now the awakening can no longer be stopped. Slowly, you are beginning to realize that your future is larger than your past pain. Your purpose is larger than your wounds. Your calling is larger than your fear. And once you truly understand who you are, the doors ahead of you will begin opening in ways you never expected, because the next part will reveal something powerful. The breakthrough already started before you even noticed it. My beloved child, something is beginning to move around your life, quietly, carefully, almost invisibly at first. But heaven is already shifting things into place for you. The breakthrough already started before you noticed. I know there were moments you believed nothing would ever change. After so many delays, disappointments, closed doors, and silent seasons, your heart became cautious. You stopped expecting good news because pain trained you to prepare for disappointment first. Even when hope tried to rise inside you, fear quickly whispered, "Do not get excited again." You became afraid of expecting too much, afraid of trusting too deeply, afraid of believing things could finally improve. But listen carefully now, my beloved. Your waiting season is beginning to break. Not all at once, not through chaos, but through divine movement happening quietly beneath the surface of your life. Conversations are already unfolding. Doors are already being prepared. Connections are already shifting. Healing is already beginning. Even now, while you listen to these words, heaven is arranging details you cannot yet fully see. That is why your spirit has felt restless lately. Something inside you senses change approaching. You may not fully understand it yet, but your soul recognizes movement before your eyes can confirm it. The heaviness that sat over your life for so long is beginning to lift slowly. The emotional fog that clouded your thinking is starting to clear. You are entering a season where clarity, opportunity, restoration, and peace will begin finding their way toward you. My beloved child, do not overlook the small shifts happening already. The new awareness inside your spirit, the sudden desire to move forward again, the growing exhaustion toward old patterns, the quiet hope returning unexpectedly, these are signs. Your breakthrough did not begin the moment you finally saw visible results. It began the moment your spirit started awakening again. That awakening opened the first door, and now more doors are beginning to follow. I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. Revelation 3:8. Read that carefully, my beloved. No one can shut it. Not fear, not your past, not betrayal, not the mistakes you made while hurting, not the people who underestimated you, not even the seasons where you almost gave up. What I am opening for you now carries my hand upon it. And when heaven opens a door, human opposition cannot permanently close it. For too long you believed every closed door meant rejection. But now you are about to discover the difference between doors humans closed and doors I protected for the right time. Because some opportunities arrive too early. Some relationships appear before healing is complete. Some blessings require preparation before they can truly be sustained. And my timing, although painful to wait for, always carries wisdom beyond your understanding. Listen closely now. This next part matters deeply. The season ahead will not look like the season behind you. The old version of your life was dominated by survival. This next season will begin teaching you restoration. The old season carried confusion. The next season carries clarity. The old season carried emotional exhaustion. The next season carries renewal. My beloved child, you have cried enough tears in hidden places. You have survived enough lonely nights wondering whether anything would ever shift. And now, slowly but surely, heaven is beginning to respond openly to prayers you whispered privately long ago. Not because I forgot them before, but because the appointed time is arriving now. Watch carefully over the next few days. Signs are about to appear. Unexpected conversations, unexpected peace, unexpected opportunities, unexpected confirmations. You may notice people suddenly treating you differently. Certain paths will begin opening naturally instead of forcing you to struggle endlessly. Some answers will come through quiet moments of clarity. Some healing will arrive through encounters you did not plan. Do not dismiss these things as coincidence. I am moving, and once heaven begins shifting your life, even small events can carry divine meaning. My beloved, one of the enemy's greatest lies was convincing you that your life would always remain stuck exactly where it was. He wanted hopelessness to become permanent inside your thinking. He wanted your spirit too exhausted to believe in new beginnings anymore. But darkness cannot stop what I have already declared over your future. You are not remaining trapped in survival forever. You are not remaining emotionally buried forever. You are not remaining hidden forever. The season is changing. Even now, certain chains are loosening around your spirit. Fear is losing its grip. Confusion is weakening, and confidence is quietly beginning to rise again. You may still have moments of uncertainty. That is normal. Healing hearts often struggle to trust sudden hope at first. But do not allow fear to sabotage the new thing beginning inside you now. The opportunities approaching your life are not accidents. The people I am preparing to send into your journey are not accidents. The peace returning to your spirit is not accidental. This is restoration unfolding step by step. My beloved child, I know part of you still worries something will go wrong again. Pain trained your mind to expect disappointment. You learned to protect yourself emotionally by lowering expectations. But I am asking you gently now, open your heart again. Not recklessly, not blindly, but faithfully. Because if you remain emotionally locked inside old fear, you may struggle to receive the very blessings you prayed for during your darkest seasons. The breakthrough requires openness. Healing requires trust. And the future ahead requires courage. You are stronger than you realize now. The silent seasons prepared you. The battles strengthened you. The delays matured you. You are no longer the fragile version of yourself that first entered the storm. Something deeper lives inside you now. Wisdom, discernment, strength, spiritual stability. And those qualities will help you sustain the blessings that are approaching. My beloved child, heaven is not teasing you with false hope. I am preparing you for movement, real movement. The things that once felt permanently closed will begin shifting unexpectedly. Some prayers will be answered in ways completely different from what you originally imagined. Some blessings will arrive disguised as fresh starts rather than returns to the past. Trust the process unfolding now, because I am not restoring you backward, I am leading you forward. And soon, very soon, you will understand why certain painful seasons had to happen exactly the way they did. Because the next part will reveal something your weary heart desperately needs to hear. You were carrying burdens that were never yours to keep. My beloved child, you have carried too much for too long. Weights you were never meant to hold. Pain you were never meant to keep. Shame that was never truly yours. And slowly, without even realizing it, the heaviness became part of your daily existence. You learned how to function while emotionally exhausted. You learned how to smile while silently struggling. You became so used to carrying emotional burdens that you forgot what inner peace even feels like. But listen carefully now, because I am calling you into release. You were carrying pain that was never yours to keep. Some of the heaviness inside you did not even begin with your own choices. You absorbed the wounds of others. You carried guilt for situations you could not control. You blamed yourself for people who failed to love you correctly. You carried responsibility for fixing broken relationships that were never yours alone to repair. And over time, your soul became tired, not just physically, but deeply, spiritually, emotionally, mentally exhausted from carrying invisible weight every single day. My beloved child, I saw the moments when your heart became overwhelmed by regret. I saw you replaying old mistakes repeatedly in your mind, wishing you could return to certain moments and choose differently. I saw the shame that quietly attached itself to your identity after seasons where you struggled emotionally. And I need you to understand this clearly now. Your past mistakes are not stronger than my mercy. Your wounds are not greater than my healing, and your failures are not final. Yet the enemy convinced you to keep carrying those old burdens as if punishment would somehow heal your heart. Fear told you to remain trapped in guilt. Shame whispered that you were unworthy of peace. Regret replayed old memories until exhaustion became normal inside your spirit. But my beloved, I never asked you to live chained to your past forever. I came to heal you, not condemn you. I came to restore your soul, not destroy your identity. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28, rest, my child, not performance, not endless striving, not pretending you are okay while suffering internally. Rest. Do you realize how long your spirit has been fighting to survive? Even during moments of silence, your thoughts remained heavy. You carried hidden fears nobody else fully understood. You carried emotional wounds from betrayal, abandonment, rejection, and disappointment. And because your heart never fully processed those wounds, you began carrying them everywhere you went. You carried them into new relationships, into new opportunities, into your view of yourself, into the way you expected life to unfold. Pain became the lens through which you saw everything, but I am gently removing that heaviness now, layer by layer, wound by wound, fear by fear. Listen closely now. This next truth matters deeply. Some burdens remained in your life simply because you became afraid to let them go. Not because you enjoyed suffering, but because pain became familiar. You learned how to survive carrying shame. You learned how to function carrying anxiety. You learned how to continue moving while emotionally exhausted. And eventually, part of you became afraid of who you would be without the heaviness. Because healing requires vulnerability too. Healing asks you to believe peace is possible again. Healing asks you to release identities built around survival. Healing asks you to stop calling yourself broken when I am calling you restored. And that transition can feel unfamiliar at first. But my beloved child, you cannot fully enter the next season while dragging old chains behind you. The future I prepared for you requires freedom. Not perfect freedom overnight, but willingness. Willingness to release bitterness. Willingness to forgive yourself. willingness to stop identifying with old shame, willingness to believe your story can still become beautiful despite what happened before. What happens next depends on your willingness to let go. Not let go of wisdom, not let go of discernment, but let go of the emotional poison attached to old wounds. You were never meant to carry hatred forever. You were never meant to live trapped inside constant self-condemnation. You were never meant to punish yourself endlessly for seasons where you struggled. My beloved, some of the harshest words ever spoken over your life came from your own thoughts. Even after I forgave you, you continued condemning yourself. Even after certain seasons ended, you kept emotionally reliving them. Even after surviving painful experiences, part of you remained trapped inside those old moments mentally. But I am calling your spirit out of that prison now. You are not who you were in your darkest season. You are not permanently defined by your worst moment. You are not forever trapped inside the pain that once wounded you deeply. Something new is emerging inside you. Healing, peace, clarity, freedom, and yes, healing may happen gradually. Some wounds take time, some fears loosen slowly, some emotional scars require gentleness and patience. But do not mistake gradual healing for absence of progress. I am already working within you. Every moment you choose hope over despair, healing grows stronger. Every moment you reject shame instead of agreeing with it, chains weaken. Every time you come close to me honestly, without pretending, restoration deepens. My beloved child, I know there are still memories that hurt when they return unexpectedly. Certain regrets still sting. Certain disappointments still create sadness inside your spirit. But those memories no longer own your future. You survived them, and now healing will begin transforming them. One day you will look back at seasons that once nearly destroyed you and realize they became part of the testimony that strengthened your spirit. The pain will no longer control your identity. The shame will no longer dominate your thoughts. The heaviness will no longer define your days, because I am teaching your soul how to breathe freely again. Do not rush the process, just stay close to me. Stay honest with me. Bring me the fears you still hide. Bring me the guilt you still carry. Bring me the exhaustion you try to conceal from others. You do not need to pretend strength before me. I already know your heart fully, and I love you completely. My beloved child, there is far more waiting ahead for you than endless survival, far more than emotional exhaustion, far more than carrying invisible burdens every day. Freedom is coming closer now, and soon you will discover something your wounded heart desperately needs to hear. Your future was never canceled by your pain. My beloved child, I know there were moments you believed your future was over. After so many disappointments, delays, heartbreaks, and unanswered prayers, part of your spirit quietly stopped expecting restoration. You continued surviving outwardly, but inwardly, some dreams began fading into silence. You stopped talking about them, stopped praying about them, stopped believing they could still happen. Because pain convinced you it was safer not to hope anymore. And little by little, disappointment taught your heart to expect less from life. But listen carefully now, because heaven is speaking directly into that wounded place inside you. Your future is not canceled. The dream is not dead, and the story is not over. What looked finished was only interrupted. My beloved child, there is a difference between delay and destruction. There is a difference between silence and abandonment. And there is a difference between a closed chapter and a canceled destiny. You thought the pain ended your future, but the pain only paused certain things while I prepared your spirit for what comes next. I know there were moments where everything seemed lost. You watched opportunities disappear, relationships ended, plans collapsed. The life you imagined for yourself did not unfold the way you expected. And because of that, you started wondering if perhaps you missed your chance completely. You questioned whether it was too late for you now, too late to heal, too late to love again, too late to recover your peace, too late to become who you were meant to be. But my beloved, nothing is too difficult for me to restore. Not your joy, not your confidence, not your purpose, not even the years you believe were wasted. I will restore to you the years the locusts have eaten. Joel 2:25. Read that slowly, my child. Restore, not merely replace, restore. Because I do not only rebuild what was broken externally, I restore the inner parts of you that suffering tried to destroy. I restore hope where despair lived. I restore peace where anxiety ruled. I restore confidence where rejection planted insecurity. And yes, I even restore lost time. I know you sometimes grieve the years you spent surviving instead of living fully. You look back and wonder how different life could have been if certain wounds had never happened. You mourn opportunities you feel slipped away while you were struggling emotionally. But listen carefully now, nothing you survived was meaningless. The years were not empty. Even the painful seasons carried preparation. Even the lonely seasons built wisdom. Even the delayed seasons strengthened your spirit. You think you lost years. But heaven sees training, growth, endurance, and transformation happening beneath the surface the entire time. My beloved child, some blessings arrive later because the soul receiving them required deeper preparation first. If certain prayers had been answered earlier, your wounded heart would not have been ready to sustain them. But now something has changed inside you. You are wiser, more discerning, more spiritually awake, more emotionally aware. The person you are becoming now can carry blessings the older version of yourself would have mishandled. That is why restoration is approaching, not because your suffering earned my love, but because healing prepared your spirit. Listen closely now. This next truth matters deeply. The enemy wanted your disappointment to become permanent hopelessness. He wanted you to stop dreaming, stop expecting, stop believing restoration was possible, because hopeless people stopped moving forward. But something inside you refused to fully die. Even during your darkest seasons, a small part of your spirit kept searching for light. You may have felt exhausted. You may have doubted yourself many times. But deep inside, hope never disappeared completely. That was me preserving your future. The enemy could wound you, but he could not cancel what I declared over your life. My beloved child, restoration rarely arrives the way humans expect. Sometimes I restore through new beginnings instead of old returns. Sometimes I heal by creating something healthier rather than recreating what previously wounded you. That is why you must release the belief that your future can only look one specific way. Do not limit me to old expectations. What I am preparing for you now may look different than what you originally imagined, but it will carry deeper peace, deeper alignment, and deeper healing than before. You are entering a season where broken things begin making sense. The confusion will slowly clear. The waiting will reveal its purpose. The pain will no longer feel meaningless, and suddenly you will realize something powerful. I was never ignoring your prayers. I was building a future stronger than the one you originally asked for. The restoration will happen faster than expected. Once the season shifts fully, things that remained stuck for years can suddenly begin moving quickly. Doors can open rapidly. Healing can deepen unexpectedly. Opportunities can appear all at once after long silence. That is how heaven often works. There are seasons of preparation, and then there are seasons of sudden movement. And my beloved child, your spirit is approaching movement now. You may not see the full picture yet, but things are already changing. Your thinking is changing. Your heart is healing. Your confidence is slowly returning. Your discernment is stronger than before. Even now, while you listen to these words, restoration is quietly unfolding beneath the surface of your life. Do not give up now. Do not return to hopelessness now. Do not allow temporary fear to convince you your future disappeared, because your greatest chapters were never buried inside your past. They are waiting ahead of you. Share this message with someone who feels forgotten, because there are people whose spirits have become exhausted from waiting. People who quietly believe it is too late for them too. People who need to hear that heaven still restores broken dreams. My beloved child, I know you still carry moments of uncertainty sometimes. Healing hearts often struggle to trust joy again after disappointment. But trust me gently here. You are not too late. You are not permanently behind. You are not disqualified because of your pain. Your future still carries purpose. Your life still carries meaning. And what looked destroyed may only have been interrupted long enough for heaven to prepare something greater than you imagined. Soon you will begin seeing confirmations that restoration is already drawing closer, because the next part will reveal how I am sending signs, whispers, and divine confirmations to guide your spirit into the new season now approaching your life. My beloved child, pay close attention now, because something unusual is beginning to happen around your life. Small moments, unexpected feelings, strange peace, repeated signs, sudden thoughts that seem to arrive from nowhere. You may have brushed some of these things aside recently, calling them coincidence or imagination. But your spirit has sensed that something deeper is unfolding beneath the surface. And you are right, I am sending confirmations. The confirmations have already started appearing around you, not always through dramatic miracles, but through quiet whispers, gentle nudges, unexpected clarity, divine timing, inner peace that arrives without logical explanation. My beloved child, when heaven begins moving someone into a new season, signs often begin appearing before the full breakthrough arrives. I do this because weary hearts need reassurance during transition seasons. After long battles, long waiting, and long silence, your spirit needed reminders that I was still guiding you. So I began speaking softly again, through dreams, through repeated messages, through encounters that touched your heart unexpectedly, through moments where you suddenly felt my presence without fully understanding why. You may have noticed certain words appearing repeatedly around you lately, certain scriptures standing out differently than before, certain conversations feeling strangely personal, certain emotions rising inside you that you cannot fully explain. These are not random. Your spirit is becoming more sensitive to my voice again. For a long time, fear, exhaustion, anxiety, and emotional survival made it difficult for you to recognize my guidance clearly. Your mind became crowded by overthinking and pain. But now that healing is beginning, your spiritual discernment is awakening again. And because of that, you are starting to notice things you once ignored. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. John 10:27. My beloved, you were always capable of hearing me. Fear simply became louder for a season, but my voice never disappeared. I was still speaking through the silence, still guiding your steps quietly, still placing protection around your life, still arranging divine timing. And now your spirit is beginning to hear more clearly again. Listen closely now. This next truth matters deeply. The confirmations are not appearing to entertain you. They are appearing to strengthen you. Because the season ahead requires faith greater than fear. And before major shifts happen externally, I often begin preparing the heart internally first. That is why peace is slowly returning before all the answers arrive. That is why clarity is beginning before every door fully opens. That is why hope is awakening again, even while some questions remain unresolved. I am teaching your spirit how to trust me before you can physically see the entire path ahead. My beloved child, there were times you asked me desperately for a sign. You whispered prayers like, God, are you still with me? Please show me I am not alone. Please give me confirmation. And although answers did not always arrive immediately, heaven heard every cry. Now the responses are beginning to unfold around you. The timing of certain events, the sudden shifts in your emotions, the people appearing unexpectedly, the growing discomfort toward old environments, the increasing desire for peace. Even the way your spirit reacts differently to things that once controlled you, all of it carries meaning. Something is changing inside you. and the external confirmations are reflecting the internal transformation already happening. Do not ignore what happens after this video. Watch carefully. Pay attention to what your spirit notices over the coming days. Not from paranoia, not from fear, but from spiritual awareness. You may notice unexpected peace entering situations that once caused anxiety. You may feel stronger emotional clarity about decisions you struggled with before. You may encounter words, scriptures, or conversations that directly answer private questions hidden inside your heart. You may suddenly lose desire for things that once distracted you constantly. These are signs of movement, not perfection yet, not the final breakthrough yet, but movement, my beloved child. One of the reasons the enemy attacked your mind so intensely was because he wanted you disconnected from spiritual discernment. Fear clouds clarity. Anxiety creates noise. Emotional exhaustion makes people doubt their own intuition and spiritual sensitivity. But healing is restoring your discernment now. That is why certain people no longer feel safe around your spirit. That is why certain environments suddenly feel heavy. That is why your tolerance for chaos is decreasing. Your spirit is becoming more aligned with truth. And the more aligned you become, the easier it becomes to recognize my guidance. Listen carefully now. There is another reason confirmations are increasing around you. Because heaven is preparing you emotionally for what comes next. The blessings approaching your life require a healed perspective to receive them properly. If your mind remained trapped in fear, you would sabotage opportunities before they fully arrived. If your heart remained locked in survival mode, you would misinterpret healthy things as threats. So before certain doors open fully, I am restoring your inner clarity. I am rebuilding trust inside you. Not only trust in me, but trust that your life can still become beautiful again. My beloved child, the signs surrounding you are not invitations to obsess over every little detail. They are reminders that you are guided, protected, seen, loved, directed. Even now, while you listen to these words, heaven is still arranging things on your behalf. People are moving, doors are shifting, opportunities are aligning, healing is unfolding, and your spirit is becoming ready. You may still feel moments of uncertainty occasionally. That is normal. But notice this, the hopelessness that once consumed you completely no longer holds the same power. Something stronger is growing now. Expectation, discernment, quiet confidence, inner peace. Your spirit is beginning to recognize that the old season is truly ending. And once that realization fully settles inside you, your life will begin changing even more rapidly. Because the next part will reveal something powerful. The next season of your life will not look anything like the one you survived before.